Hello. How are you guys? I didn't look at my camera position. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. How is it finding me now that I don't schedule these? I know, it's such a weird, let's see. I have the camera so low. And I have here, I'll put my regular glasses on. My regular glasses are getting a little worn. Like there's scratches. I'm looking for scratches. And I don't have my little thing to, oh, here it is. So today we're making the Folkwear patterns dress that's inspired by Tibetan Chupa or Chupa. I wish I knew the proper way to pronounce that. It is a wrap style dress, but technically you don't wrap it around you. You're not going to fall out of it, it looks like. But it is interesting because it's got one bodice with the wrap, and then the other side, left side of your bodice is, or your right side of your bodice is underneath, and I think it hangs free. So, the shirt. Hi, Malin. Okay, good. Yeah, that's what I figure. I mean, the scheduling thing is not working. So, and that's a YouTube thing. I can't change that. So I figure it's better to be in the right place rather than in the right place and there's a wrong place to find me, you know? So maybe if it works in the future, we'll check it out. So I just repinned all my darts on this so that it was on the wrong side of the fabric so I don't make the dress backwards because I think I would have done that. Let's see. I think we'll get through. It's really interesting. I actually read ahead in the instructions and I don't know. We'll see. You know? Like I actually don't know how to sew this dress. So I don't even know if I'm going to do French seams or overlock. I'd like to do French seams, so I'm going to figure it out as we go. So we'll see. I don't have the serger set up for the camera yet, but we'll just get there. We'll figure it out when we get there. So this is what the Folkwear pattern looks like, and today's stream is sponsored by Hearts Fabric. And I've sewn lots of Folkwear patterns, but it's been a long time. And like I said, if you ever kind of go down the sewing rabbit hole where you're kind of like, I want to learn more about this craft called sewing, and you really want to get into some of the nitty gritty and the historical details, it's really interesting to sew any of the Folkwear patterns because a lot of them have the traditional technique that particular garment would have been sewn like in its country at the time it was being worn. So you'll look at in fact, a lot of the patterns I gravitated towards were patterns of a certain era where typically the person probably wouldn't have had scissors, and so they would have torn the fabric. So all the pattern pieces were rectangles and squares, and you construct the armhole in a really interesting way with a gusset, so that you're not getting the classic kimono shift type of shape where it kind of slides to your back or the armhole doesn't feel very comfortable. So in order to make the armhole not a slit, which is how a kimono is, right? It's basically a slit with no curvature at the bottom of the armhole. They put in a gusset that you fold in this interesting way, and then you put in there, and then it basically gives you a little bit of a, curve there. So I'm describing this really terribly because I'm not a historical sewist, but it is really interesting. It really makes you think about how hard it was to make clothes, and they were more involved than we were now. Such an interesting paradox. It's like architecture, right? Our architecture today is so simple when we have more technology and capability than ever. And then you think about architecture from a really long time ago and how detailed and rich it is. But they also use slaves, so, we've come a long way, hopefully, from that. So I guess maybe not lauding the feats of the ancient architecture since it probably wasn't made in the best way. So anyway, I wanted to share with you though that when I thanked Allison and Nate from Beatrice Forms for the dress form, she shared with me this genius way she uses her half scale. So what she does is she drafts the pattern on her half scale, and then she scans it into her computer, and then she just scales it up 200%. And then it gets the right size, and then you can print it out. So I thought that was really clever. And so I did the reverse today. I don't have very many PDF patterns that were appropriate for this test. So I took the Cali shirt dress. And you can see this is a regular size piece of paper. Like this would normally be an 8.5 by 11. So I did it at 50%. You see the pattern piece there? And I'm going to cut this out and put it on my form, because this is one that just doesn't fit me well. And I love this pattern and I love this silhouette. But the back always, like I say, gives me that pillowcase backside, you know. So I'm kind of excited. I'm going to, I actually, you know, I couldn't get 2 pages at 50% scale to print on one. I can get 2 pages to print on one page, but I can't get them at the right scale. It only lets me choose the 50% scale or multiple pages. Hi, Terry. How's it going? Everyone's kind of quiet today. So I'm pretty excited about that. I might stream it. I might not. I don't want to, you know, I don't want to play too much. So how about we sew? All right. So we've got this Folkwear Chupa, and then we have here's the back view, or this is the back view. So the wrap is on the back, ties in the front, and it has this really nice neckband collar. There's a skirt version as well. This is the front, and then that's the back. So, all right. So let's see. We have, here's my directions. So the first thing we're going to do is put our darts in A. This piece is so gigantic, and in a way, I don't really like dealing with gigantic pattern pieces, because especially when you're using this really great fabric that kind of has all this drape, I swear it pushes the pins out. So I ended up pinning some of these. Well, there's other markings on here, and I just put my clover clips over them to keep them there, because I've already lost a couple. And that kind of annoys me. But this is a gigantic pattern piece, so we're going to get it out of the way first. So I'm going to do my darts on this. This is piece A. I didn't even cut this one on camera with you guys. Why is that not? Well, that makes me suspicious. Oh, I lost the top of my dart. That's what it is. That's my armhole dart. I was like, why is that not lining up? Let's see if I can see where the holes were. Oh yeah, I can. Okay. Do you ever do this? Just kind of look for where it was? Oh, I don't know if I trust that. Let's see here. This is the viscous linen noil from Hearts Fabric in a dark teal. Not sure how it looks on camera. It looks less teal and more blue on there. I just want to get all the pins off of this so I don't lose anything. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to line up this one here and these here. To find this one here. I heard a pin drop and I thought it was a different one. All right, so I don't like using the quilting pins. All right, that looks better. See, when you fold a dart on the end points like this, when you do this, these points should stack on top of each other. So where the pin goes in for me is the marking. And I sometimes, if it doesn't stack up quite perfectly, I actually will adjust the garment a little bit and just make sure that the dart is the same width right there as is intended, because it could be just that I marked it a little bit off, you know. I've definitely come across those patterns that, you know, aren't in the right spot. Oh man, so big and heavy, and I'm so worried I'm gonna drop pins. You know that feeling? All right, here we go. My stitch length was really tiny because of whatever we were doing last time. All right, that actually stacks up really nice, so I feel pretty good that I got those correct. I'm going to try this technique that my friend Brooke tagged me in this Instagram post, and so I usually hand tie the ends of my darts. I don't backstitch, but she showed me someone who does this. Here, I'm going to get my pins out of the way, and maybe you guys all know this. So she doesn't backstitch. She turns it around and then stitches in the dart and puts her back stitch there. Now I'm going to do that. I think we did this once recently. I didn't leave myself enough of a tail there. I tried to, but it got sucked up. So I'm going to fix this one by doing the same thing. I think we talked about this recently. I did it on one other thing. And it's perfect on this garment because this isn't for me, you know. But if I was worried about some of these darts and I might want the option to change it, I think backstitching there, I wouldn't do that. I would leave your tails. Hey, Andy. This is why you make tailor's tacks. Yeah, Terry, good point. I always feel like I need to keep things moving along, you know? That's just my thing. All right, so where's my other one? This one's clipped. I have one more. Here it is, right here. All right. All right, so just put my pins like that. I always find where it goes in. Like this. Yeah, maybe I should get into that tailor's tack groove. All right, I'm gonna start this. This feels really weird on a fisheye to do this. I'm not sure how I feel about it. I just sewed along that fold. All right, now I'm gonna arrange this so that it's nice and relaxed. I'm gonna let go of this pin right here, and this one right here. You don't want your darts to torque. Maribel, how's it going? You didn't miss anything, Andy? I mean, I don't think you did. I think I talked about folkwear patterns and kind of like their place in the sewing world as far as I have interacted with them. I really like them. And then I talked about my half-scale dress form. I actually printed out the Calais shirt dress pattern at 50% or at 50% scale. And I'm going to drape it on my dress form and see how it goes. So I'm kind of excited about that. I mean, that's one way you could save on fabric and stuff. And I only printed the front and the back, so I didn't have to print all 46 pages. So yeah, exactly, Terry. And that's the thing is like I should take that time, I think, to do that, you know? All right, so now we have our... This is the other bodice. So see what I'm saying? This is the other bodice. I did mark. I lost that pin too. All right, Terry, you win. You win. I think especially on this kind of fabric, if this were something maybe like a poplin, if you pinned it, you would still see the hole in essence. Got my notches there, got my notches there. Oh, I think actually they have you hem this edge and then put the dart in. Yep. That's interesting. All right, so you're going to hem this edge because this is going to hang free. I'm pretty sure it hangs free under the wrap. So I'm going to leave those there, and we're going to hem these two straight edges. I do it all in one. I think it's a, why isn't there seam allowance? What is the seam allowance? I haven't looked at the seam allowances. Oh, cool, Maribel. 1/2 inch seam allowances. But what's this, oh, 1/4 and 1/4. All right, so it's a 1/2 inch hem allowance as well. No problem. And this is correct, right? This is the one, I think actually my darts are on the wrong way. Look at that. Because my other one, so let's see. So this is the wrong side, rather. You got to make sure you sew your darts on the correct side because it's got a distinct left and right. You know what I mean? Hey Megan, how's it going? And this is the under one right here, and then the top one. I hope. I mean, gosh, that's what I'm looking at it as. So if this is the under one, this is the right side up. All right, well, good thing we checked there. All right, so we're going to do a 1/2 inch hem allowance here. And then you sew your dart. So I'm going to get that going, and then I'm going to hold the other end. You can iron this first, like press 1/4 and 1/4. I'm not bad at rolled hems though, and keeping my seam allowance correct and straight. This is also going to go under the dress. If you're pretty good at cutting things on the grain, hems can be a little easier. As long as it's not like a curve. The grain will help you. Same here. I'm trying to get that to stay lined up. I'm such a polar. I am almost pulling it. Oops, wrong side. Oh no, that is the right side. Wow, I couldn't even see my little edge there. Dang it. I was right. I'm cutting out block pieces. That epic quilt. I signed up for that mini quilt, and I looked at the templates and I just about cried. I may need to rethink that. I just really like the small quilts, honestly. I bought a antique quilt at a fabric sale this weekend. It's a top, all hand sewn. All right, so now we have our... Did I do that wrong? I think I did that wrong. I did. I just hemmed that on the wrong side. No, I didn't. Wait, yes, I did. Wait. If this is the right, this is the way you're gonna wear it. My darts were marked correct. What the heck? Wait, this is the armhole, right? Ah, yeah, okay. I was right all along. Okay, good. And I hemmed it correctly. I just flipped my dark markings. I think I just, for a second there, thought this was the armhole. It's not, you know? starting to slip, you guys. Nothing like confusing yourself, being your own worst enemy. All right, so now we're going to... See, this is why I don't know why you would do the... Why wouldn't you do the dart first? Because now I've lost my markings. And I knew that, but, you know. I'm kind of paranoid right now. Because does it show? I'm kind of paranoid that I'm going to sew this inside out. Like one side's going to be... I'm going to have two lefts. That's what I'm worried about right now. Okay, so here we go. I just heard the weirdest noise. All right. Try and keep that nice and relaxed. And then we're going to press all our darts. Little armhole dart. Nice shaping. I'm kind of curious how the shaping works on someone with curves. I think sometimes wraps can be really good for that because you can cinch it or release it as much as you like. Okay, now I have a right front. Phew! All right, let's iron these. I gotta get that pattern piece out of the way. It's massive. I love this fabric. I think it's got the like benefits of linen without being all linen, and then it has the benefits of rayon without being all rayon. I think it's a really good combo. Oof, what's wrong with the color? The heck? What the heck? Is that yellow for you guys? What's wrong with that camera? It was fine just a second ago. Well, it's yellow for you guys, right? Yeah. Why is it doing that? Oh, there we go. I mean, that's a little better. Weird. At least I know how to fix some things. Yeah, that was yeah. I was just checking it before the stream too, so I don't know why it did that. Well, we fixed it. Okay, so pressing my darts toward the center front. I need to turn down the iron. This was so nice yesterday. Now it's all getting wrinkly because I had it folded up. All right. Oh, it came back, didn't it? That's interesting. I can see you guys are behind me. I wonder what that's about. That's so weird. Sorry, guys. I'll have to figure that out later. All right, so now we're gonna, let's see. I think these are my, yeah. So right now I've done this first column. We're gonna do our shoulder seams of the bodice, and we're gonna sew our ties together. And then you attach your tie. I love it when you get the tie over with, because otherwise I'll forget to do it. Or I'll dread it because I'm just not a big fan. So, I mean, the tanning bed is really popular where I live. Definitely not for me. My dermatologist gets so excited when she sees me during the summer. She's just like, oh, you're so white. Yeah, tanning cream in the 80s. Your inner sailor, uh-oh. Yeah. Yeah, see, and that's why I'm like, oh, maybe I do want to do something small. All right, where's my back? Here's my back. But we didn't do our darts on the back. Were we supposed to do it? Oh, I'm supposed to do the darts on the back as well. Yeah, let's get those over with. It totally does. I remember one time my friend doing that 80s tanning stuff, and the classic thing, she didn't wash her hands afterward. It was pretty funny. All right. So that's right. I pinned this to the garment, but I actually don't get to utilize that. I'm gonna just, well, I'm not actually sure what these markings are here for yet. So it's hard for me to know if I need them or not. Like, I know I need them, but you know what I mean? Like, do I really need them on the garment? Or is it a guide? Is it going to be told me in the directions what to do? So I'm just trying to maintain the integrity of them the best I can until I know. And this is how I'm doing it. I'm kind of like not using my chalk as much lately because I have been seeing it linger. Oh, I just heard a pin drop. It's like when the other shoe drops. It's kind of how I feel about my pins right now. Don't drop. 16 pieces per 5-inch square. Yeah. Did you see that? Did I show you what my pattern looks like, Megan? And so what I don't understand on this mini thing is, because I'm a noob, right, on the quilting thing, and I kind of like the idea of a challenge, but I also, I just like things small, and I don't really want to I don't need a ton of quilts, you know? So, but one of the things they say, so this is designed as a mini quilt square. They're really technical. If you guys are interested in seeing it, it's the easy person to look up would be Allison Glass on her Instagram, just to check out the difficulty of the squares or the strikingness. And she's partnering with Juicy Juice. This guy Giuseppe. You spell his name Giucey or Y, and then juice, and same thing with the G. So anyway, so what I don't understand is what they say. They say that this can be made from 1 inch to 7 inches. There's no way you could put all of those pattern pieces down into a 1 inch thing. And so I'm trying to figure out what that means, because that obviously doesn't mean that. I think it just means that you can do the 1 inch in the middle of the square. But they're intended to be 4-inch squares, so they're tiny. And there's a ton of pieces. So I'm trying to, you know, it's like I'm learning, right? Like this is kind of the interesting thing is like when you start like looking at people's comments and what they say, and you're looking in weird places for the information when you're the newbie, you know? It's like when you have that friend that's new to something and that where they're getting information kind of makes you chuckle because you're just like, oh yeah, I remember when that's who I found first too. You know, that's where I'm at. There's where I lost my pin. I like the smaller ones. They stay in better. All right. All right. Darts take so long. It's understandable why beginners get really bogged down with darts because they are kind of a mystery in a way. They seem like a beginning skill, like every sewist has it. It's like one of the first things you learn. But because this is the first thing you learn, they are kind of a weird thing. Most people don't even know they exist until they sew, right? So they're like, okay, I'm going to make clothing. And they're like, I've never seen this thing before on my clothing. You know what I mean? Okay, so I'm going to pin this. And I'm going to pin this. Because I'm going to start this upside down. So, rookie! You'll have a load scraps. Yeah, but shipping them will break the bank. That's the thing. How's it going, Brooke? Oof. They're just watching me struggle with darts right now. You know, usual. Give me a... Oh my gosh, stop it. Give me an astronaut's outfit to sew, but you give me darts and I'm like, Oh my gosh. Sorry. I think it's my shoes. I'll sit back further. I'm trying that dart method you tagged me in. Remember how you showed me the, did I really just lose this pin? What the heck? Oh, there it is right there. Ugh, newsletters. If people knew how long newsletters actually took, they'd read them. I read all my friends' newsletters, even if I have no idea what they're talking about. So I'm definitely on a couple where I'm like, I have no idea what this is. But I browse the whole thing. Yeah, I've been trying it. I mean, it's, like I've been saying, like, I think if you know you're not going to get back into these darts, I think it's a great option. It's a little strange to use on these fisheye darts because I have to start upside down. Because I have to go up, you know, start down here, not down this low, but I'm just exaggerating. Start down low, go up, and then come down, and then go back up, right? So now I'm kind of pinning it, which I don't usually do like that. Because this fabric keeps expelling my pins. But it's such delightful fabric. Oh gosh, I lost that one. Okay, fine. Oh no, I'm starting right here. This is when I wish I used a magnet for my pins. You know? But never. I will never do that. Alright. Get this nice and relaxed. Got my end here. It's right there. Oh my gosh. That's right here. I'm feeling like full-on fumble fingers. The iron camera's doing something weird. That was exciting, Brooke. It looked like I had a spray tan for a second there. This is the, hi Angela. Viscous linen noil. I'm pretty sure I made I feel like this was either the opium coat fabric or it was the dress I made using the 100 Acts of Sewing, like tunic number, I don't remember. I get those confused, the names of those confused. But it was army green. Do you guys remember that? And I pleated the edge of the sleeve. That dress turned out great, by the way. I actually wish I had that dress. And I never would have picked that color on me. So that was kind of a good lesson, you know? So I feel like that dress and maybe the opium coat was this fabric. And I feel like when I was at their store, this comes in so many colors, you guys. I'm pretty sure it's this one, or it's the Brussels washer linen. Both of those are great choices, by the way. I made the Upton dress in the Brussels washer linen. I loved it. And I think Brooke turned me on to that fabric because it's a really great mix between the linen and the rayon, just like this viscous linen noil is. And this has a really great texture. I don't know if you can see this texture it has. So if you know what noil is, like silk noil, it has this kind of very subtle, slubby, natural looking texture. And it kind of adds some depth and richness to the color because there's some, it's small, but there's like lower and high and denser color amounts there. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the monitor looks a little different for me. It looks a little like bluer where it's more teal in person. It's beautiful. It's a good color. Yeah, do you remember which dress that was, Brooke? I can't remember now. All right, so should we try the iron cam again? Let's see what's going on with it. This is always entertaining now, right? See, now that looks okay, but watch my arm under there. Whew. What's going on with this thing? If it's not one thing, it's another, you guys. So Brooke, one thing I learned yesterday that I thought was really cool was Allison from Beatrice Forms said that what she does is she'll drape her project on the half scale form and then she will make it into the pattern pieces and then she just scans them in on her printer at 200% into her computer. And then she has pattern pieces, right? Then you can like print them out the right size. So I thought that was pretty clever. Yeah, you see the teal now. Yeah, I actually think the iron is kind of better. It's a little bright. I'm a little orange on there. I don't know what's going on with that. Okay, so let's see here. Now we have... There's the back. We're going to do our shoulders. 1/2 inch seam. We're going to do French seams. Almost forgot. Yeah, I'm blown out. Yeah, because everything was orange. Yeah, so it was completely orange. And then when I checked the white balance. I fiddled with it. I at least got it to not, like, even the gray matte was orange. It was really weird. All right, so we have one. Let's put this wrong sides together first if you're going to do a French seam. I was just double checking that's what I did there. Yeah, right? Yeah, that's what it seems like. So I would looked a little bit into it on their website on the half scale. So unfortunately, it's not something they can offer for sale yet. They can only offer it to people who already have a dress form through them because it's just not affordable. It's probably, honestly, knowing how things like that go, it's probably the same, almost exactly the same amount of work to do a half scale as it is a full scale. It's probably barely different. It's probably like $100 different, and they're like, oh yeah, we can't do that. So, oh yeah, Terry. I use pdfplotting.com, and I think I feel like I have a how-to. Do you want me to look really quick? I can link it in the chat. I can't remember if I have a, let me look. Let me look and see if I have a how-to for that. Search. Oh, that's not sure. Search. Oh yeah, okay, so let's see. Let's see, here we go. It looks like this is what I have linked on my website for how to print PDF patterns. And that, but if you go to pdfplotting.com, so before you go to pdfplotting.com, open up your copy shop version and look at what the width of the paper is that it's printed on, or that it's set up to print on. So just like if you go to print, it'll say, or maybe it'll say it in the title if they're nice. And then look at how many pages it is or how long it is. And then that will help you when you go to PDF plotting, because I go to the black and white, and then there's a lot of options. So I usually go to, I think, AO, and it's the 36 inch by 48 inch. And then I put in number of pages. So the thing is, if you need like something like 8 pages to make their minimum. So otherwise, if you don't make that minimum, they're going to charge you $7.50 plus shipping. So it's good if you have a bunch of patterns to print, or if you have a friend that wants to print some patterns. Yeah, Brooke, it's good to save them up. And so what you guys, I've actually thought about doing like a little reminder tutorial. When I buy a pattern, I immediately download it, put it in a folder on my computer that says patterns bought. That's my thing. I have patterns designed that I've designed. I have patterns bought. And I go to the patterns bought, and then I have all these categories. Knitting. I have a lot of patterns. Knitting, cross stitch. Now I have a quilting folder. Sewing. And then I put it in the sewing category, and I put to print. So there's another folder that says to print. So that's like my to-do list. And I'll go in there occasionally when I want something. I'm like, oh, I can add these other 2 things to print. You know, things I'm not like I have the Kalispell dress by Itch to Stitch Patterns that I want to make. I don't know if you guys saw that when she came out with that a couple months ago. So that's in there for me. Let's try this iron again. Let's see what's going on with this color again one more time here. Oh, the saturation is... The saturation was all the way up. That looks good. Oof, it's a little bright. Sorry, guys. All right, so I've done my 1/4 inch seam allowance, and I'm just going to press it one direction. It doesn't really matter yet which way it goes because it's not going to stay this way. It just makes it easier to do your French seam. And I'm definitely guilty of skipping this step, but the result is so satisfying when you do this, when you actually iron it. It actually makes me want to do it. So then I iron it on the seam with the seam line there. Then if you just because you do that very first one, it makes this one so much nicer, so much easier to do. I'm having trouble because I'm doing it at a really weird angle to me. Maybe I clicked the saturation button by accident when I was setting up my cameras this morning. So here's a good example. I didn't line that one up very good. So when I did my 1/4 inch seam allowance, I lined it up on the 1/4 inch seam line. That's not where it's going to end up, right? Because there's the half inch was right there. Well, live and learn, right? Yeah, that's much better. Oh, you have Penny? That's nice. Let me switch this. I have had bad luck. Like, they haven't done anything wrong or anything, but every time I've gone to go and print there, they're not taking orders. So I was kind of, I gave up, honestly. But they do seem really eager for the business. I'm going to trim this a little bit because my next seam allowance is going to be a 1/4 inch. Ooh, I did that kind of crooked. So I can maintain the 1/2 inch total. First open, then flat. Wait, I always iron the seam allowance. Open. Ah, that's a good tip, Malin. Yeah, I think that works too. Especially on something as short as the shoulder, you could totally do that. But yeah, it actually, when I do it, it does press it open in a way, you know, because I'm pressing that seam to one direction. Oh, is that it, Penny? Okay. And I do think that tissue that they do is pretty intriguing because then you can use the tissue as your muslin. But then do you have to print out too if you do that? Because you kind of are essentially sewing your pattern pieces. And I see that they do partnerships with pattern companies for really good deals. Oof. Okay, those are okay. There we go. All right, we have our shoulders. This massive amount of fabric here. All right. Oh, now I'm gonna do my ties. It's interesting how they illustrate sewing the seam allowance on the shoulder. Do you see this? It stops from, I don't have autofocus on, otherwise it would drive you guys crazy, but it stops kind of from the edge, and I was like, do I need to leave it like that? But I think it's just probably the way their software is easiest to use to draw it. All right. So here's the tie. It actually looks like a tie too. Look at that, because it's like skinny and fat, like a men's tie. You're not ambitious enough to sew the tissue. I mean, I'm with most people. I just want to get to my project. So I understand that. Like if you're just like, you know, I don't want to spend, you know, days on this. I only get 20 minutes a day to sew, you know, and I agree with you that they're doing those extra things is great if you need reassurance. I am a fan of anything that makes you feel better or more confident about your project, because trust me, if you go in with confidence, you're going to do a better job, you know, and even if you do have some issues, you're not going to feel as weighed down by them. You know, you're going to be like, that's okay. We know what we're doing here, you know? So anything that can make you feel better and make you feel like you're the boss of the project, I'm a big fan of. Or maybe it's not for you and you want that extra reassurance. Heck yeah, you know? And I really like it when you can print in layers. And I think Patternsy does that. They print in layers. So if you don't want to print out all the sizes, I think I like that too. Or if you just want to print out a few of the sizes. Say you're straddling 3 and you just want those 3. Why does that sound funny? Oh, I see. You know, this spool of thread is giving me nothing but trouble. Look it. There is a piece of plastic right here. You see this thing right here? And so I flipped it over and now it's catching on the thread grabber thingy. It's nothing but trouble. That kind of stuff really gets me. My spool was dangling from the top of the thread tree. Alright, I'm going to cut this point here. There's one. Yeah, right, Terry? I know. Speaking of bums, my new dress form is sitting right next to me at my computer. Like, she's right here. And looking at my bum, I'm like, really? That's my bum? It's kind of funny. It's like you're looking at someone you know, but you can't put your finger on who it is. I actually like, this is interesting. I feel like if anyone's ever sees this that gets a Beatrice or a custom form or whatever, or just has that initial, like, you know, it's scary. I get it. I so get it. Okay. Like seeing your actual size. It's very interesting, you know. It's like when the first time you hear your voice on a recording or see yourself in a homemade movie. It's a little weird, right? Well, one of the things that I was talking to Allison from Beatrice, I was like, you know, I think one thing that'd be good is if people photograph themselves and video themselves before they start the process and start looking at that, looking at those photos, looking at the video, getting comfortable with who that person is because it's you. Hi, Nancy. Nice to see you. And I think the other thing is when I got it, I was like, okay, that definitely looks like me, but it looked bigger than I am, right? And I wasn't saying that. I'm not saying that. And I'm like, oh, I hope that's bigger than me. I actually was like, oh, it's a little bigger, but you know, when you breathe and stuff like that. And yeah, of course, I have my own sizing foibles, right? But today what I did was I actually put the dress form at the same height as me. It took me a while to get her same height without someone there. I got her at the same height as me. And then I took a picture of her at the same angle, like in the same spot. And then I took same picture of me and I did a side view of me. And this was the good thing. She's exactly like me. First of all, I'll get that right out of the way. She's exactly my size. And I have measured her in a few places, and it might be different in some places. It's, you know, definitely, you know, they didn't dip me into, you know, chocolate and make me a hollow bunny, you know. So, it's, what was really cool though, you guys, is like when I'm looking at her in person, I'm like, that's my bum? Really? I didn't think I had a big bum, you know? I've been a runner for a long time, so I definitely have a developed lower half that I'm not developing right now. So it's softer, so it gets a little bigger. I notice it, especially when I start running again. My clothes will get looser, and I won't gain or lose any weight. But here's the good news. when I looked at her in the pictures, she looked so much smaller than she did in real life. So that's the other thing I would tell someone. Okay, once you took the leap and you got your Beatrice and you're like, you know, trying to be positive about like maybe how you feel about something with the sizing with it. I'm making assumptions, I know, but I'm also want to address this head on with sizing with people, because I've been around people and sizing for a long time, and I have dealt with all kinds of things on the spectrum. Everything from a boss not even acknowledging his body has changed in the 30 years he's owned a company and still considers himself the base size. And that's a guy, you know. So, and I've dealt with athletes. I've dealt with women wanting custom stuff. I've dealt with like garment companies saying, "Oh, I don't want my," like they see their sizes come in and they see the upper sizes and they're like, I don't like the way my garment looks in a size 16. I've had to deal with that kind of junk. So I've seen all kinds of things. So when you get your form and you're a little bit like, wow, this is interesting seeing myself, I'll just put it that way. Take a picture of you like I did. Take a picture of yourself. Take a picture of the form. Same angle, same height, same distance away. Note the objects in the room as landmarks so you can compare. And then notice she looks a lot smaller than you thought in person, okay? So when you see her in like the weird, like that's so weird saying you're seeing yourself in the third person, but it's like the fourth person seeing a photograph of yourself in the third person. That's how other people see you. And that's just like, I felt like that would be a really good, like do it all. Like do all those things, you know? Yeah. Hi, Jan. Nice to see you. Yeah, Nancy, I bet. I mean, you could probably teach me and others a thing or two about having your custom dress form. So that would be my 2 cents, because sizing is always a hot button topic. But think about think about this, you being your friend, like, and what you would say to your friend. Because hopefully you are your own best friend, right? Oh, that's interesting, Jan. That's awesome. Smaller than you feel. I like that. That's an actually interesting assortment of words. Yeah, and I think like for me, I immediately started putting clothes on mine because that's what I see, right? I don't see myself naked. You know, I see myself wearing clothes all the time. But I don't usually get just to look at my backside or myself from the side, right? All I see is the mirror image of myself. So that's an interesting difference too. Yeah, exactly. It's a naked body. Yeah. All right, I'm going to iron these. My point is, you know, be kind to yourself, you know? The whole point, I have to move my keyboard, sorry. The whole point of this is to get clothes that make us feel better, right? And when they fit, you feel amazing. That right there, just feeling amazing, that pours out of you, and people notice that, and you look amazing, right? So, and not all of us can feel that way all the time, for sure. I don't feel that way all the time ever, you know? But I do like having things that I feel confident in, and if I don't feel confident in whatever I'm wearing, I will go home early. I want to just go home and put something on. Sometimes I can't wait to put socks on when I get home. Sometimes I just can't wait to put on something stretchy, some stretchy bottoms, you know? Something loose that balloons over the front of me is like a sweatshirt. I don't typically wear those out of the house. All I really have is the Linden sweatshirt, to be honest. You know, I feel that way too. I just want to get home and put on comfy clothes, especially when I'm having one of those days where I walked out the door in something that doesn't even feel great. So I can't see the chat very well over here. I kind of marred my little tie there with the loop turner. I think I pulled too hard. I'm gonna have to poke it in there. It's all cliche stuff to say, but it is true, you know. Think about a little kid that gets to dress up, you know, and they're wearing that leopard costume they got at Halloween every day, right? Because they're just like, I feel so good in this leopard costume, right? And it just pours out of that kid. Like, they feel completely like themselves because they're wearing that favorite thing that makes them feel so good. And it just looks totally normal and natural on them because they're just so in their element. They are the leopard. And it's only when someone says, oh my gosh, why are you wearing a leopard outfit, that you can kind of see them crumble a little bit, right? It's kind of like a really great micro way of looking at all that. My daughter went through this phase of wearing this really atrocious princess dress. It wasn't even like a Disney princess dress that we've all seen. It was a Legoland princess dress. Not Legoland, Lego store. We were at a Lego store at Disneyland. She found it. No one was wearing these things out and about. Kids weren't wearing these things out and about at all. My kid decided she, at 2 years old, had to wear that thing. And she wore it. And she wore it. And she wore it. And she wore it. She wore it for so long and so much. The sleeves that were sheer, they just fell off eventually. I cut them off. I was like, okay, these things are a hazard. They were just shredding, you know. But she felt so good in that outfit, you know. And I had friends actually say, I can't believe you're letting her wear that. The kids just weren't doing that then. And, you know, this is 17 years ago or 15 years ago. It just wasn't very common, you know, to see kids out in their dress-up clothes. And I wasn't dressed up to her. It was very serious. She didn't feel like a princess. She's never been that kind of kid. She just loved that dress. So, yeah. I think about that when people would say things to her. And I'm like, well, back off. Okay. She doesn't wear it anymore. Right? You know, yeah, Malin. Ooh, you're going to make one too? That's cool. Yeah, so Beatrice Forms won the Spoonflower Designer Grant last year to make their own fabric. And I thought it was only skin tones, but I saw a bigger picture of it today, and it's actually got dots on it, which is exactly what I want. I want fabric that's like a dot fabric, like dot paper, which is like a pattern drafting paper. You know, that's the kind I want. And then I noticed that's what they made. I really want this fabric now. Okay. This is the right side of the, okay. Let's not get this. This is a big dress. I'll stop talking and I'll start sewing. I'm sorry. All right. Woof. The dress is heavy. All right, so this is my right side. The right side of the fabric, I should say. And this is A. I'm going to put a tie. Lining up raw edges of the side seam, top edge of the tie with the star. Oh, with the star. Okay. Okay. So I put this little clip here because there was a star, and I just wasn't sure what it was. Oh, that stayed threaded? Oh my gosh. Oh, that's amazing. There's one. And I'm going to just pin my tie like this to the garment to keep it not fluttering around in my way. I may have to adjust that, but. You need to find your inner princess dress, Angela. Oh, I like that. It's true, you know, and I think like if I think about what is the garment that makes me feel the best, it changes daily. Yeah. Oh, so the bootstrap is made, yeah, with no stretch. That's great. Yeah, I like that spoonflower twill. It's thin, but really sturdy. I like the way it feels. It's almost like, because I feel like twills are sometimes a little too thick, you know? But I really like that. Their twill. All right. I'm finally on the other side of page 2. Left side only. Stitch front to back from outermost dot at side seam. Dart, side seam dart. Oh, that's a dart. All right, I want to know, how, can I make this with French seams or not? All right, so I have my ties here. Oof. It's a lot of dress. I don't want it to touch the ground. I swept, but, you know, it's never enough. Okay. I gotta stand up for this. Oh, I hemmed the wrong side. I hemmed the wrong side. That's why, remember I was so confused on that piece? This is why I kind of knew I was not, yeah, anyway. I won't explain myself. I made a mistake. This is the side seam, not the center front seam. There's no seam at the center front on this piece. So if Folkwear's watching and screaming at the screen at me, I'm sorry I didn't hear you. I really confused myself on this piece, didn't I? Yeah, quilting cotton does have a lot of stretch to it. Not real stretch. Yeah, I would think like a tightly woven. I wouldn't get poplin. Poplin, like some of those tightly woven fabrics can rip really easily. Some of the upholstery fabrics are great, but they can be kind of an open weave, so you can be careful. I would look for a bottom weight canvas that's not the linen cotton, you know? All right. I was fun yesterday. I was looking for something to have on in the background while I was working on something, and I found Miriam's stream on when she made my eyeglass cover. I didn't get a notification that she was live, so I missed it. It was like 2 months ago and I totally missed it. But it was really fun. It was so fast. Like it took her like 45 minutes or an hour to make that really nice leather eyeglass case. It was so nice. And it's totally broke me of my habit of throwing my glasses into my basket, you know. Hey, Sydney, how's it going? I don't know. I think I'm distracting myself, Malin. I'm just chatting away, filling up the quiet here. I just saw your note, Jan. I think I may have missed a few of your messages, but I moved my whole stream setup. over to the, like my office is shaped like an L, and I'm in the another corner of it, a corner that I didn't have anything in except for like some unused furniture. So when my internet went out, I took the opportunity to move everything. I touched everything in my office. And I moved everything over here because it's quieter over here. The lighting is pretty consistent. And if I'm recording a video and the crew comes back in, I don't have to stop recording. And I actually really like it. I know the background, I haven't changed it yet. The background's not as nice as those shelves. Those shelves are pretty stupendous. But it's all for the better quality video, right? You're not here for my bookcase. At least I hope not. It's not mine. Okay, let me hem this side here. You don't love me just for my bookcase. I knew I was doing something wrong this whole time, but boy, was I not being observant enough to figure it out. It's really easy to stretch out those corners, isn't it, when you're sewing those? So I do try and layer it right on top of itself, like this edge right here. I try and line up that edge there because I am definitely guilty of pulling it or pushing it in a way to where, like say when I get down here to this end, I would pull this and it would extend above the top edge. This is at an angle, so it's hard to demonstrate that. So just try and fold it perpendicular. Like keep these little grains, or you know, of your weave, the weave of your fabric lined up. There we go. You enjoy seeing this, do you remember? Enjoy my pain. My shirts, my dresses pain. Oh, Sydney, yeah. Yeah, no, my sister's in Washington State, and there's actually cases in her kid's school district. So she's getting daily emails about everything. Her husband is deployed right now. He's on a ship in the Navy. She has no idea where he is, but she knows where he's been, and he's been in some of those areas, but where he's going to supposedly is safe. And she's like, I don't believe him. Like, where's safe right now? Because, you know, if they let him off the ship and they bring it back into a ship, we're all seeing the unfortunate, you know, what's happening to the folks that have been on these cruise ships and stuff. All right. Back on track. But I lost my directions. All right, so now we have the left side only. We're looking at the wrong side of the fabric. And this is the left side. No, this is not the left side. That one's A and this one's B. B is the back though. Oh, okay. Here we go. Good. Yeah. All right, so right now I have this is the back right here on top, and this is the left front. We're looking at the inside of the garment, and we're going to come down to this, all this hoo-ha down here with this wrap edge here. We're lining all this stuff up. And we're going to go from, I have all these clips in here. Let's get this clip down here. Get that tie out of the way. We're going to start with lining up these points here. And we're going to back tuck there. So apparently this right here is going to become a side seam dart. So I just saw that. Yeah, Nancy, we are. Oh, Sydney, you're in Washington as well. Yeah. Yeah, my sister's north of Seattle, in Mukilteo. Okay. So we're going to start. Get all that dress on the table there. So now, my experience with wraps is when we did that one, the Kielo wrap dress, I wasn't very good about the French seams, like where things were going to land. Remember that? Like, so part of my seam did end up showing. I can go back in and serge this afterward. It's a big seam. So I'm going to just sew this right sides together right now and then look at it. Because like up here in this corner where the tie is, that's always going to be tucked in there and it's not going to get exposed. Like the raw edges are going to be fine. They're going to be safe in there. Down lower, they may be more visible on the inside of the garment. Does that make sense? And then we go down. Yep, all the way down. You could try and turn it into a flat felt seam, but it's not very much seam allowance. So I'm going to match up these corners here. I lined up my tie to the seam edge there and that, I think it's a star that's there. I want my tie to be perpendicular to that edge there. Yeah, exactly. The germaphobe thing, yeah, exactly. Oh no. Oh no, I wonder if her school district is closed now. I told her, you know, since her husband's deployed, sometimes she'll come and stay with my mom, like before the kids were in school, just because she didn't know anybody. And she'd just be like, okay, I guess I'll just come and stay with you while he's gone for 6 or 7 months. I was like, you can come and stay here. We had someone pass away near us, just outside of Sacramento. Alright, so this is the hemline. So I went all the way down this kind of like a side seam here. This is just the wrap edge. I'm not going to trim this down to 1/4 inch because I'm going to leave myself some options in dealing with the seam allowance as far as finishing the edges. I'm going to clip that corner there. Let's see. I think I do this the exact same thing on the other side. Oh, and now we're going to do the side seam of the bodice. Ooh, this is so interesting. I'm into it. All right, now we're going to do our side seam right here. This is the armhole down to that same spot right here. So let me lay all this out for you. So this is the back of my dress. This is the left front. This is the armhole. Here's the side seam here. We're going to line this up. And we're going to stitch down to this other little mark right here. So I'm just lining all these up here. All right. Getting a little bit of a little tuck there. Let's see if we can fix that. All right, So now we have this whole edge here. So, side seam of the bodice, wrap, okay? Yeah. Ah, you're on immunosuppressants. Yeah, Sydney. Yeah, you got to be careful. Exactly. And people aren't as careful as they think they are. I know I've been telling my daughter, I'm like, you know, people, including us, are gross. So don't put your hands near your face at all, you know, going to the high school and stuff. So. She used to lick them. Oh my God. Oh man. Yeah, it's a viscous linen noil, so it's got that kind of slubby texture. It's actually really cool. All right, so let's see. Now we're going to do something kind of interesting right here. See this little dart we're going to do? On the front, fold along dart fold lines and bring both dart dots together. Stitch from upper pair of dots to lower, being careful to tie it off. Repeat for the back. All right, so we're going to open this out like this. It's not going to move much. And we're going to make this double dart right here. So let's see, looks like I think we have our pin on both, which is miraculous. Let's see, let's push this through. Pull it away. You're only going to just stitch one dart at a time. This feels a little awkward. Here we go. Let's pull this out of the way best you can. Line up those points where you just back tacked. I have so many pin cushions in it, and they're like not ever in the right spot. All right, now we're gonna do the same for the back side here. Or maybe this is the front. I need to reach in here and pick up my pin. All right, so here's the other one. Pinching it right here. I'll look at chat in a second. I'm starting and stopping, by the way, at that point where we just started and stopped for the other two seams. So I'm not going all the way through to the raw edge. You would probably catch the other side and maybe create some stuff if you did that. Like one side might work, but the other won't. Cool. What's going on here? I made 2 dog coats yesterday for Loki's sister. Yeah. But the people that were let off of the cruise, weren't they the ones that they were fine on the cruise? But it was who checked them in. The one here in California. Oh, the first one. Oh. Yeah, exactly. It's not that bad. Not too fiddly. Yeah, exactly. All right, so there we go. So there's our double dart there. See, look, I did catch it a little bit. So let's see if we get to look at it yet. Press dart towards center front and center back with right sides together. Okay. Stitch front to back from box to corner of extension and down. Wait a minute. A and B, A, that's right. So this is the I'm lost. Here we go. That's what I'm looking for. All right, so let's see if this is this one now. A and B. Wait a minute. A and B. Which ones are A and B again? Let's see. A is the front. Are the two fronts? Wait. Oh no. B, A and back. Okay. Wait a minute. Where's this right here? That's A and B. This is A. Now I'm kind of lost. Let's see here. Oh, I think right here. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. This is A. This is the back is B. This is A. So that is this one. Let me look ahead. The front and back clip inside the corners. Extension. Oof. All right, let's see here. Is it this? Oh my gosh, you guys, the dress is so heavy. It just keeps falling off my table here. Let's see. Let's unpin this and unpin this so we can see. What coats? You said, oh, what fabric did you use for the coats? Oh, for the dog coats. I used the floral, Cricket picked them out. So it was this print that I just got from Spoonflower that I tried because they said it was a garment base. It's a little heavy for that. So, I mean, for a top. Be fine for bottoms though, like skirts and things. And that had blue straps. Oh, she's going to take pictures. That's the price, right? All right, I need to hold this up here. So we have this front here. Let's see what it looks like on this side. Here's our wrap. So there's that little juncture I just did, and it's now that I know what it needs to look like, I can see how I can improve this. You see that? So then it looks like this. And that's the dart I just did. You see that? So just in case you're kind of wondering how that goes, this is how it goes. So here is the wrap. See, there's the tie, and there's the dart we just did right there. I think I can finesse that a little bit, but I feel like this seam right here could line up with this one better. It does lay okay, but yeah, you could do that a little nicer. This one is going to go this way, actually. It's going to go this way, which looks better, thankfully. There we go. All right, so then I gotta stand up. Let's try it on. Right? What is going on here? So here is this one. So then see, this will go back and then come around to the front and tie. Yeah, for busy. She spells it B-I-Z-Z-Y. Yeah, so there were two, and she wanted the collar. The collar on one, I was like, eh, because I used this fabric, which I've made a top out of before, and I think is a Liberty of London for one, and it has orange ties. It's a little lightweight for a dog coat, but I lined them both with that fake Sherpa fleece that's cotton. So there's some warmth. So they're light duty coats. Okay, so I'm kind of lost in my dress here. Let's see. This is my next step right here. And it's this right here, this angle thing right here. This is what's confusing me. There's nothing that looks like that right now. This looks like the neckband, but I know that's not on there yet. So this is the back and this is the front. Right side only. So maybe that's my clue. So right side only. So it's this one. Oh, okay, so it is this. Is it though? I don't see the... This is the right side. Back boxed corner, extension and down side. Oh my gosh, this is kind of driving me crazy right now. Wish I had a dress form. This is the back. This is the left front. This is the back. This is the left front. Oh. Okay, my first instinct was right. This is what I'm doing here. The suspense, right? This is the back. I think this is it. That's it. Phew. Why aren't you using the dress form? Well, I could be. You know, I should bring it over here, right? Brooke. I am liking this pattern. The instructions are fine. I'm just lost in my dress. So here we go. So let me explain for anybody needing it. So this is still the same front, right, that we just sewed on, right? So over here, let's make sure we don't twist anything. All right, so here's your front that you did your one right here. So it's right here, okay? That's that. That's that side seam. So now you take your same. Oof. Okay, and so now we have, this is our back, which also has a wrap extension right there. The front has one on both sides, okay? So just ignore this little front right here. Here's the little front right here, okay? It's in there. Just ignore that. Now the picture is going to look like what we got. So you see here we have these two edges we're going to line up here. And see, now this looks like the picture. That's what was throwing me off, is seeing those two differences with this little angle. That's it. Uh-oh. You guys losing me? Looks like YouTube's getting some issues. Error. Stream health is excellent. Oh my. Oh no. You guys there? I think it's getting better. It was laggy. Okay, cool. Thanks, Sydney. It says poor right now for my stream health, which... Right, Nancy? Origami sewing is so satisfying. Okay. Cool. Okay, cool. Hi, Ray. Nice to see you. All right, so here we are. This is it. So this is still the back. This is the wrap extension. Thanks for the text, Brooke. And this is the other side of the same front we were just sewing. So the little front is dangling in there, right? We're just leaving that. We're trusting we're going to get to it, right? Okay, so now we're going to do, there's a box right here, which I no longer have marked because, you know, there's been a lot here. So let's see if we can find our box. There's our box right there. So basically, I really like notches. I just wish the world used notches. There we go. There's our notch. Right there. And then we're just going to go down, all the way down, just like we have been. We're doing something a little different, though, after this, so... Honestly, I mean, as much as I would like to look like I know exactly what I'm doing, it's a nice seamless tutorial, I actually really like a challenge. I can hear you, Sydney. Okay, yeah, exactly. I had that happen today when I was trying to watch something too, and I was like, what the heck? And I didn't want to ask everybody, is this just me? All right, so I'm going all the way down this edge. I keep wanting to call this a side seam, but it's not. It's the wrap edge. So same thing with my seam allowances. I may go back in and serge this edge here, but right here, this little corner is going to stay tucked in there. I'm going to trim my corner. Like that. All right, and so let's see, this next little whoop-de-doo. We're going to clip inside the corners 1/2 inch along the dart fold lines. So this also has this little dart that we did last time right here, and I've lost all my markings for. Oof, and I'm losing them here too. It's right here. Sometimes it's just good to measure the dart width. And so here's the dart. It looks like this on the pattern. It's just 2 dots with a straight line going down. That's why I wasn't sure what it was originally. It's 1 inch on my size large. I'm making the large. Yeah, that's awesome, Ray. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I mean, actually, I like it. You gotta, sometimes I have days where I don't. May, good to see you. On YouTube, no less. Yeah, sometimes I have those days where it's like, I want to look like I know everything and it all comes out perfect. But then I have to kind of just give myself a smack and go, you know what? It's just... That's not what streaming is. It's casual, and we're figuring this out together and hanging out. So, and I like these challenges. Like, this is the kind of thing I would sew on my own and be like, how does this go together? You know? So, May, I'm so glad to see you. Twitch doesn't work for me anymore as far as streaming, so. You know, Sydney, when I use my quilting pin, these are quilting pins. They're really heavy duty. They're great for lots of thicknesses. They're really long. But the diameter of them pops right out of this kind of fabric. So it's better to use something like dressmaker's pins or smaller ones that have a smaller diameter. They'll stay in there better, you know. You can use chalk. You can use tailor's tacks. That's what Terry does. Safety pins, yeah. And, you know, another like a very old school technique would be to, if you have glass-headed pins, because like this little head here can melt. So you got to make sure you always buy glass-headed pins. You can put them in there, pin it so that it looks like the dart, iron it, and then those little markings will stay there. Yeah, May. I know. Well, I love Twitch. I like to watch streams on there, but I can't get my stream to work on there anymore. Not while I'm streaming on YouTube. So. Okay, so we just did this whole seam right here. And we're looking at our dart because we're kind of getting to where we're going to do another dart. But you're also going to do this little finishing right here. So I'm at the top of this page 2, far right hand column now. And I think maybe I'll call it there once we get here. I'm going to get past this little tricky spot here. Clip inside the corners a 1/2 inch on both layers. You're going to hem this one. And you're going to make the dart. Wait, where's this hemming right here? Oh, and then you're going to hem it afterward. Okay. I was like, I didn't do that. Wait a minute. I missed something. All right. So we're going to clip this 1/2 inch down. I'm really following the directions, you guys. Can you believe it? All right. Here we go. And then we're going to just hem this layer, which is the front. Piece A. Right, Angela? You know, the whole idea of someone sitting there alone at night, no one's awake to call or ask, and they're crying at their machine. Yo, I have been there. Yeah, I have been there, and sometimes my everything depended upon it, you know. It's nice we have the internets now, because there was a lot of time there we didn't have that. But that was always my goal with, like, when I mentored the high school students, I would say, you know, this is the deal. You know, I really want you to come here and get help from me, but also, like, that I don't want you sitting there doing that, you know. How far do I go? I just go to the box, which is where we started, like this. Okay, so now I have this little hemmed edge here. I'm really looking at these directions. Do I clip that? On ridge between newly made clip and box. Turn again. On seam align, tapering to nothing at the box. Okay. So maybe like that. It's gonna be like that, right? I think that's okay. I think the reason they want you to taper to nothing is so that this little stitch goes straight up into this juncture right here. Especially on a fabric that wasn't solid, it would look like it's just kind of floating there. So they say to taper to nothing there. I'm just gonna leave it for now, and we'll come back to it if I need to. And now we're going to stitch close pressed, repeat on back. Oh, we do this on both edges. Okay. Okay. Oh, really, Brooke? Right, May? I know. What is this thing called YouTube? All right. So it has to do this on the back too, so I'm doing it. Hemming between the clip, which is the where the side seam dart's going to be. To the wrong side. Sometimes it would be nice to, on certain projects, to always make sure I'm using a fabric that's very clear for right and wrong side. I've been doing that with the sewing tutorial videos for my patterns. Just making sure, you know, that it's really clear. So, no Twitch emotes here. Exactly. I often look for those on my phone, and I'm like, yeah. Oh, really? I can't see them. I'm on like a breakout, like a pop-out chat window thingy. Yeah, I want to see photos of that, Brooke. Will you send those to me? Yeah, it looks like I can do that on this, but I'm not sure. You got this, May May. I know you can do your snack baggies. This is the gal I was asking you guys all about, if you guys knew of a pattern for that. But then I ended up finding one, I think, on the Closet Case website, and then a blog, right? All right, where am I at? Let me focus here. Okay, so make darts in the front and the back, and seam ends for the left side. Tie off at dots. Press towards center front and center back. Okay. All right, so now we have the spot we're going to make our darts, and this time it's going to look more like this. We didn't do our side seam yet, if you've noticed. Probably because we're going to put the other front in there. So let's stack this up here. I'm looking at this. Okay, cool. That does line up. Love it. I think I go to the top edge of the, yep, of that folded hem that I just did. All right, let's get rid of some of these things here. I got too many piles going on. Let's trim my thread here. I think I might go back to the other chat. Like, I don't like that you guys are all the same color. It's hard for me to keep track of what I've read and what I haven't, you know? There's a pin here. Let's leave it in there. No idea what it goes to yet. Let's do our other dart. I'm getting rid of my threads here. Yeah, so this one I ended up going to nothing there, and I do kind of like the way that looks, you know? All right, so where's my other dart? It's right here. That might have been the pin I needed. Oh no, it didn't come off right there. These I didn't know were darts, so I put the pins on the incorrect side. And let's see if I can see I can see the pinholes, which is nice, but I'm also going to use this as a guide. So that's my start right there. That's my seam. It's an inch wide. Get this nice and straight. It's really hard dealing with this much dress up here. I'm just trying to focus on what's in front of me. But at a certain point, you might have to kind of lay it out better so you make sure that you don't get the incorrect grain. I'm going to start, I never start at the bottom of my dart, and I don't recommend it. I'm going to start down here this time because of the way that this is laying out. Actually, because I want to do this. I want to sew my dart on the side with the hem. Like this, so I can see right here, this right here, you know? So I'm gonna look for my dart leg, which is right there. And it is 1 inch wide total. Right there. Phew. Hey, Rachel, how's it going? I missed you. Yeah. Yeah, it does. It varies from pattern to pattern. See you later, May May. Nice. Oof, 2-hour transport ride. Whoa. All right. My messy little dart there. Let's see if I got this pretty good. Lay one dart on top of the other. Sometimes you just don't want to know how you did, you know? So I'm feeling this dart on top of the other. Oh yeah, it's fine. Okay, good. Sometimes you just don't want to know. All right, so now we're going to do the little front seam allowance right here above this dart. Just this one right here. Let's make sure. God, you guys, there's so much dress here. Oh my gosh, I am completely lost. I'm always looking for shoulder seams, you know? Here we go. Shoulder seam, shoulder seam. This dress takes, I think, about 3.5 yards. Here we go. That is this right here and right here. Right? That's the back. Oh, I thought we were gonna, okay, wait. Hem this right here? Wait, I may have to look at that. We have our dart. This is what we just did, right? But doesn't our, oh, you know what? I put my tie in the wrong spot. Dang. This is a mess. Exactly. I think she means what I'm working on. I put the tie at the wrong spot. That's why. Okay, so we're just going to stick it in right here. Hopefully you did yours correctly. This is why I like sewing muslins. Because sometimes when you sew a muslin, it's in like a few different fabrics. Because you're just using scrap fabric. And it's really easy to keep track of where you're at. Alright, so I'm going to stick this in here. I was like, I can't hem that edge. The tie is there. Oh, but the tie is not supposed to be there. So I'm putting it here at that 1/2 inch line where the star is, since the star is not on here anymore. Okay, I'm gonna reinforce this corner now. Make sure my tie is perpendicular to the edge. Nothing like a droopy tie. It's good to have your ties like perpendicular, or at least going with the flow of the edge, because you know how if you pull it and it's not, like, say your tie is in there a little crooked, you'll get that weird little like gap, you know? A screaming emoji, yeah. Oh man. See, that's why I keep thinking the mini thing is a good idea, but now I'm like, I don't know. Whoops. I need to go at the seam line right here. I think I can go one more stitch. It's always hard to see where your seam line is when you've already trimmed it. Sorry. I feel like I can get that a little closer. All right, now we can hem this edge right here. Right? This is the front. You got this, Megan. You're gonna get into a groove, you know? Right, exactly. Okay, I'm just making sure I've got this right. Okay, so it's close to pressed edge, all right. Clip this right to there. And we're going to hem this quarter to quarter. See, I need to be better about folding that right there, and then line it up with this edge. Because you see what I was just about to do? I was just like, all right, quarter, quarter. And then I had this little like wing going above my edge there. No, no, no. We're going to line this up better. Like that. Actually, I'm going to do better than that. Like that. Get it started, and then I will continue to arrange. Here we go. All right. Phew. All right, so we finished this whole page. I'm not going to keep going past this, but I am going to take a gander at what lies ahead. This is page 3. We have all of our facings and ties. And then there's, this is all skirt instructions and hem and the ties. So yeah, basically we have one page and a few columns left. So let's see how we got going here. And then I'm going to give it a good pressing too. Whew, this thing's heavy. But it feels like I really love dresses that have all this drape, but they got that weight to it. Because then they stay down, you know? They don't tend to fly away. So we have this. I think this will all get secured in that next side seam step. I need to press open that one. Okay, so here's this. This also has a wide neckband style collar right here. So if it looked really low cut on me when I tried it on, that's not where it's going to end up. Okay, so let's see here. Moment of truth. All right, so you have this is probably going to go down here. Then you have this wrap and this wrap. There we go. But it's going to go to the back. There we go. Cool. We did it. Ow, my hair keeps getting caught in my glasses. Ah. gosh, Megan. Hiding it was really hard for me. My daughter will just stop by without telling me. And luckily, she's in the habit where she always locks her car. And it's a very distinctive little beep. And I know when she's here. And I will sometimes, like I have a Easter thing here. And I'm like running and hiding things when she comes. And so her quilt was big. It was huge. And it was here at the office. I didn't even have a place to hide it. I think I had to put it in my closet where she never goes. You know, like it gets a little cumbersome to hide. All right, you guys. Well, I'm going to put this on the dress form. I'm not going to wheel it back here because it's a little narrow. But I'm definitely going to put it on her and see. That's kind of exciting to be able to put it on the dress form. I'll take a picture. Ooh, I'm so excited. Okay, so I will see you Saturday. I might pop on tomorrow and work on. So what I did was, just in case some of you joined a little later, what I did was printed out one of my patterns that I bought. Like this is the Cali shirt dress by Closet Case Patterns. I printed it out at a 50% scale. And now I'm going to cut it out in fabric and put it on my 50% dress form and see, you know, how it looks and stuff. The other thing I'm going to work on is finding all of my landmarks on the dress form because it's just a knit cover. There's no princess seams. There's no apex. There's none of that kind of thing. You know, so I have to locate those things. Oh, perfect. Yeah, the tub will be good. The tub will be good, yeah. As long as she's not a snooper. My daughter can be. You know. I can hide things in the Harry Potter cupboard. I actually worry they'll hide something in the Harry Potter cupboard and I won't see it and then I'll feel bad that I haven't walked into the Harry Potter cupboard in a while. You know? Alright, so I think I have this zoomed in. Can you see it? Okay. Oh, have you, Angela? That's awesome. Yeah, I love that pattern. It just doesn't fit me on the back. So I'm kind of excited to find a way to make it work for my backside, you know? It pools back in my lower back and stuff. So I need a little bit of, I need a lot of this. All right. Well, so I'll see you guys Saturday for sure, 11 a.m. We'll finish this Folkwear Patterns Tibetan Chupa. I don't know how to say it. Maybe I'll look that up. And thanks to Hearts Fabric for providing all the materials we need. The Folkwear pattern, the thread, and the fabric to make this. You can get 10% off on our website with So Live. Hi, Eliza. Oh my gosh, Eliza, we're about to leave. Oh man. Eliza, our timing is off. So, yeah. Oh, that's great, Angela. Yeah, that's awesome. That's smart. Come on tomorrow so you can listen? Okay, I'll try. That'll be good. All right, and if anyone's new here, make sure you follow to know when I'm live. I'm not scheduling streams lately because YouTube doesn't put you guys in the right spot when I go live, and then we can't find each other. So that's how you can get notified. And if it ends up being too many notifications, you can always turn it off later. But it's a little bell on YouTube. I have a website, so.live, and you can find all of the videos grouped by their project, which makes it a lot easier to find. It's very concise format. It's not very wordy. So then you can find the cutting video, the part 1, the part 2, and just jump right over to YouTube. They're in playlists, but I have to admit, I'm pretty good at keeping those organized, but sometimes I notice they're not like consecutive. You know what I mean? So yeah. YouTube's kind of a weird way to navigate. You can consider being a patron on Patreon. I gave a really good discount for my first sewing pattern on there. I give them free patterns occasionally. If one of them said, yo, I really need a video on this, I would probably do it. So it's a really great way to have direct access to me. So, and I really appreciate all those patrons out there. Thank you so much for keeping things going. So yeah, I'll see you guys Saturday for sure. And I will definitely put this on the dress form right now and post it on Instagram to see how we're going. This is so exciting. And I'll see you Saturday, 11 a.m. Pacific. If anyone liked those 2 p.m. streams, let me know that, because that'll keep me doing them. I can't tell. So I don't want the 2 p.m. folks to only ever get cutting videos too. I want them to get some sewing videos too. So, all right, guys, I'll see you Saturday. Have a great rest of your week if you don't see me tomorrow.